Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here, and we are here for round number 2 of our Pioneer 1K RCQ. We have Dean M on Azorius control against Tim B on Amalia combo. Both players are 2-0. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. And yeah, I am Les Alex. I make content on the internet. You can go check my content out on YouTube. And it looks like Tim is going to unfortunately have to take a mulligan. And we have Dean on, like I said, Azorius control. He is playing good old-fashioned Yorion. So he's playing 80 cards in his main deck. And it looks like Tim's taking a second mulligan. So unfortunately, he is going to go down to 5. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We are coming to you live in living color from the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois at Impact Gaming Center. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. And we just became affiliates on Twitch. So if you are so inclined and enjoy our content, consider becoming a subscriber here on Twitch. We stream our modern FNMs every Friday, except whenever there's a pre-release or the power's out. But yeah, it looks like both players are ready to go. We have a Seiju in and a Restless Anchorage for Dean. All right, here's a scout. I may need to zoom out bars. And that explored. The selfless good boy was put into the graveyard. An attack down, attack 4-2 takes Dean down to 18. But yeah, if you are watching live, feel free to participate. And a censor. Ooh, doing the Lord's work here. And here is a temple scry. Temple scry for Dean. He's got Narset in his hand. A Dovin's Veto. It looks like a Supreme Verdict. Tim gonna play the green-black Fastland. Let's see what he's cooking up here. Another scout. Oh no, that's a Fauna Shaman. And that's a good tool here for the Amalia deck, going to be able to find both of his combo pieces, potentially, with that Fauna Shaman. Dean gonna play the land. Is Dean gonna fire off this Wrath effect here and get himself a nice little 2-for-1? Doesn't look like he's really considering it. He'll just pass. Okay. Might be waiting to see one of these pieces. I think I like that. It does have to be cognizant, obviously, of his life total. Tim electing not to attack in fear of the Wandering Emperor, I'm sure. And Tim typically wants to try and just win via Amalia, so not too worried about Dean's life total. He's going to cycle Irrigated Farmland after the Omen of the Seas. Draws Castle Ardenvale for turn. Has a Field of Ruin in hand. He's going to play said Field of Ruin, potentially. And he does. And is it Temporary Lockdown? I didn't even see that card in his hand. That's a great piece of technology here. Tim could activate Fauna Shaman. That would be certainly something that he could do, and he is. I think that makes sense to me. All right. So he discards Wild Growth Walker. So does he have redundancy? Does Tim have redundancy in his hand? I don't know. I didn't see Haven't had a real great look. Dean being a trooper here, letting us see pretty much his whole hand. He's going to get the bat. And temporary lockdown will resolve, taking down the scout and the fauna shaman. Dean shrugs and looks like he passes turn. Little Kutski. And Tim will take his turn. Did he draw another bat? I think he did. 2 bats. 2 bats. Alrighty. So Tim gonna write down these cards and we get a great look. Sunfall Verdict. Holy smokes, Birdman coming in with 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Congratulations to Doggy Chaz, Jots Owen, Raptimus Prime, Sleazeball, and Lewis01. Thank you so much, Birdman, for that. And Sunfall going to be the get from the bat. And we are going to go ahead and cast Narset, Parter of Veils. Of course, this is the very powerful Planeswalker from War of the Spark. Has a passive ability where your opponent can only draw 1 card per turn. And then the -2 ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal a non-creature, non-land. And put it into your hand. And he will choose Memory Deluge, the very powerful draw spell from Midnight Hunt. He did notably elect to not get Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, which is, of course, one of Azorius's several win conditions. It is a win condition. Don't tell me it's not. I will argue that fact all day. Another bat. We're going to take a Verdict here, possibly. Yeah, so Tim has both of Dean's mass removal spells here, and he's getting in for this chip damage here. And what is this other card on the battlefield? This white card, I'm not familiar. We have the technology. We can zoom in. Luminarch Veteran? All right. Narset goes down, reveals the Wandering Emperor, which will likely keep these bats at bay, because Tim does not want to let Dean get those rats back in his hand. Extraction Specialist, probably targeting Wild Growth Walker. And that could be an issue for Dean if he can't find a way to get Wild Growth Walker off the battlefield. Memory Deluge is going to definitely be a good tool here to potentially find a way to get these creatures off the board. He gets 2 of these cards, not finding what he wants, but he does have a scry. Oh, he's not going to take the Cycle Land. Electing to take just a untapped dual land. I might have taken the scry land there to try and find some piece of removal. Because at this point, I don't think Dean has a way to interact with the combo if Tim presents it. Yeah, just 2 lands, 2 Wandering Emperors, but Tim's not going to be bashing anytime soon with any relevant pieces. By the look on Tim's face, and just by the fact that he hasn't casted it yet, doesn't have Amalia in hand yet, so we shall see. Extraction Specialist going to be the one creature to get into the red zone here. Yeah, no shot Tim's tapping that Wild Growth Walker for any reason. We are going to see the Wandering Emperor. What is Dean going to do? He is going to exile it and gain 2 life. So he'll go to 15. Look at that. A little behind on my life totals. That's why we have them have the life tracker up there. And another No More Lies. So No More Lies potentially helps him here. Not a hard removal spell, but at the time, it will do the job if Tim presents an Amalia. Anchorage, going to take Tim down to 21. And Dean will make a map token. I believe that's what he's looking for. All right. That's a forest, but it's a map, folks. It's a map. There we go. Tim says, I got you, bruh. Oh, so that's how we're doing it. Okay. Fair enough. We like the forest. So, Dean activated the map and put a counter on it, I'm guessing. I didn't catch that, but alrighty. Sorry about that glare there. We know that is a Restless Anchorage on the top left corner of the screen. We are making a human token in step for Dean. Dean's starting to kind of put the pieces together. Starting to kind of claw back into this game. Those bats, rather, not bats. Bashing rats. No, little It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference, but these bats are doing a good job here. Hey, what's up, Chip Hund? Get that Exodia, right? How are you tonight? Or this morning? It's still the morning. Holy smokes. I've been up so long. It feels like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. We do have 6 rounds plus a cut to top 8, so 3 additional elimination rounds today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, make sure to smash the heck out of that like and subscribe button. And as you just saw, if you've been watching for a while, we are... Oh, he drew the verdict here. Does Tim have any responses? Heroic Intervention would be a potential good play here. We're tapping 3 mana. We're not tapping 3 mana. Is this a Chord of Calling? Potentially. It feels like a Chord of Calling. However, that's going to be met, I'm sure, with a No More Lies. So that will not resolve, unfortunately, for Tim. These cards all going to go to the bin. Dean's then going to take a Sunfall back to hand and a Supreme Verdict. Going to make a Samurai token with Vigilance. That's 2 power and 2 toughness. It's morning. Did you sleep? I did thankfully get some sleep last night. And Dean's going to pass back. So now that Dean found his piece of mass removal that he's been looking for, basically, since those bats were deployed, Dean is in a dominant position here. He really just needs to find, and he doesn't even need to, but it would be nice if Dean would be able to find a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. He does have the Memory Deluge in his graveyard, so he can flash that back at a certain point. However, he's electing to just get aggressive and end this game as fast as he possibly can, as he is activating his Restless Anchorage, which means he's going to be able to put a +1/+1 counter on it with... Oh, okay, so that's good too. I like this actually better. He's diversifying his threats. He's going to explore with the token, with the Samurai token. It is Omen of the Seas. To put a +1/+1 counter on his Samurai token. And he's going to get in there and drop Tim down to 14. He says, I am the aggro now. Collected Company. That is certainly going to get met with a Dovin's Veto. Takanuma. And there is the veteran. Luminarch veteran. And he's going to disturb his other Luminarch veteran. And let's zoom in to see what this backside of Luminarch veteran does. I know it does something pesky. I can't remember exactly what it does. Whenever another creature you control leaves a battlefield, gains +1. You gain 1 life. If it would be put into the graveyard, exile it. All right, so not too pesky. Dean probably doesn't care about that actually too much. Can be a thorn in the side for control for aggro decks, but Dean obviously is not. Going to activate Anchorage, and then activate the Planeswalker ability of the Wandering Emperor, and we're getting in there. Down to 7 goes Tim, so we are on a 1-turn clock. And that is going to do it. Tim going to pack it in, and we are heading on over to game number 2, and Dean up a game with Azorius control over Amalia combo. And this red seat is hot today. So far winning every game. Thank you, everybody. I am Les Alice. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here at Impact. We are streaming to you live from Impact Gaming Center in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. If you're in the area and watching live, come on up. We have 2 pre-releases today for Modern Horizons 3. One at 1 p.m. and the other is at 5 p.m. So couple hours. And then tomorrow, Sunday, we have 2 more pre-releases, a 2-headed giant and a traditional one. Both of those start at 1 p.m. So come on up and join us. It's going to be a blast. But yeah, so let's take a look. I do have deck lists here as I did last round. So let's take a look here at Dean's Azorius control. We've got 1 Ashiok Dream Render, 2 Chrome Host Seed Charts, a Dream Trawler, 2 Get Lost. Those are certainly coming in. 2 Hallowed Moonlight, maybe. Knockout Blow, I've seen a lot in the sideboard of decks. 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Shark Typhoons, and of course the Yorion. You're never bringing that card in. Definitely the Get Lost I would be bringing in. Potentially Knockout Blow. Maybe even Hallowed Moonlight. I don't know if that's good in this matchup. I have not played this matchup a lot. I am a control enjoyer, but yeah, I'm not sure. And then Dream Trawler, probably not the best here. I could see Dean bringing in Chrome Host as just a way to get aggro, but... And let's take a look over at Tim's deck. We have Skyclave Apparition, Assassin's Trophy. That would potentially come in. Vivian Monster. I don't even know what that says. Radine's definitely coming in. Deep Cavern Bat, likely coming in. Fatal Push, definitely not. Haywire Might, probably not. 3 Thoughtseize. I could see Thoughtseize coming in potentially, trying to clear the way. So definitely Thoughtseize, definitely Radine, maybe a Planeswalker. This Vivian card, I'm not sure what Vivian. I can't read. Unfortunately, I can't read Tim's writing here. So shout out to our judge, Stephen Hagen, who had to decipher what card this is. So I could see Vivian, just because it's a Planeswalker. Planeswalkers are good against control typically. We have the Thoughtseizes. I could definitely see a good argument for that. And then Radine is excellent in this matchup. But yeah, let's kick it back down to the gameplay area, to the battlefield. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us live here on Twitch. we've got 4 more rounds. 4 more rounds plus 3 knockout rounds coming at you today. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And check out the rest of the videos in this playlist to see all the matches from this tournament. It looks like Dean's going to take a mulligan. And keep in mind, Tim was on a mulligan to 5 last game. Yeah, we opened at 9 because the tournament started at 10. So, but yeah, come on up. Come on up and get some games. Old Lady Bones. Love early? Really? You like it? I mean, I'm okay. It's not my favorite thing to do. Like, all right. Dean's got lands and spells. Are they good ones? I see a removal spell. I think you have to. You cannot go. Oh, Tim's on a mulligan as well. I didn't see that. Can't go to 5 against a combo deck, I don't think, though. If I were Dean, especially one that could potentially play Thoughtseize. That seems like a no-go. Haha, that's why you guys left last night? Yeah. Oh, I feel ya. That's... Alrighty. So both players on a mulligan. I believe both players on a mulligan to 6 here. I think Dean did keep, if I'm not mistaken. Prosperous Innkeeper. Boseiju. There is a Court of Calling there. And the 2 other cards. Oh, so he's on a mulligan to 5 again. I did not see that. Black, green, Fastland, go. Restless Anchorage, go. Draws a Temple Garden. Shocking in. It's quite shocking. Prosperous Innkeeper. Makes a food. Field of Ruin. Is that a Hollowed Moonlight there? In Dean's hand? Touching his thumb on top? I can't quite tell. I believe it is. Down to 19 goes Dean. Another Innkeeper. Here's the thing about this matchup. Amalia doesn't present a fast clock because they just play a bunch of these little dirtily dudes that don't attack very well. So Dean can kind of use the early game to set up and kind of save his removal. Because you don't so much care about Prosperous Innkeepers. Obviously, if you're starting to get below 10 life, that's when you start to care about little 1/1s like that. But he can save his spells for the cards that matter. So, there's a Selfless Good Boy. That is a card that Dean would potentially care about, because he can sacrifice it to save one of his combo pieces. Later on in the game. So if that's all Tim's doing this turn, if I'm Dean, I'm probably going to take care of that here in step. Dean elects not to. That's fine. Pass his turn. He's still got time to kind of figure out what he wants to do. Notably, Tim did not attack. Again, Tim, not sure if... Seemed like a free attack. I'm not sure what Dean could have had at 3 mana that would make him not want to do that. I guess he could have... Tim could have Court of Calling there, potentially. Otawara the play for Dean. Again, Tim, on 4 it makes more sense because you don't want to run into a Wandering Emperor. And now he's got Cord mana, big, like, for sure casting Cord at the end step, I would imagine. Otherwise, you certainly would like to attack there. Here is Narset, Parter of Veils. Back at it like a Craftmatic. We're going to reveal some 2 lands. And 3 steps ahead, the very powerful counter spell from Outlaws at Thunder Junction. It does, however, notably cost 3 mana. So that is what Tim is probably checking out. It does a whole lot of other things, but the relevant thing here, it is a counter spell. It can also be used to draw 2 cards, discard a card, and make a copy of target artifact or creature its controller controls. And here's an Amalia. And unfortunately for Dean, this counter magic is not going to do what he wants it to do here. So we're getting some exploring going, and another Amalia is going to go to the bin. Going to put a +1 counter on Amalia. And he just goes for it here, right? Like, you're kind of walking into removal. But you know Dean does. Okay, he passes. The Selfless Savior is not going to stop the exile effects in Dean's hand. Omen of the Sea, the get from the Narset. All right. Yeah, good luck, have fun to both players. We got to do something about this Amalia. And here we go. This is March of Otherworldly Light. We're going to pitch a March of Otherworldly Light, targeting Amalia. And the Amalia, he loses 3 life, I believe, when he targets it. Isn't that what Amalia does? Yeah. And he did. I just missed it. So Dean is at 16. They have it right. In response, though, I'm assuming Tim is going to Chord of Calling here. Of note, Chord of Calling in this, if that is a Hallowed Moonlight, this is going to be so brutal because it's going to exile whatever Tim gets here. And we have a Judge Call. And I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to. I assume Dean's going to talk about the ask the judge, excuse me, about the interaction between Chord of Calling and the timing on Hallowed Moonlight. He's going to get to draw a card, too. He drew an Absorb, I think. Just everything coming up. Aces here for Dean. That's... Well, so the March hasn't resolved yet, Dean. So let's not forget about that. And the Amalia is going to get exiled. That happens. And Tim is just going to fail to find. I don't know about the timing on the Hallowed Moonlight there, because I believe if Tim searches for it and puts it on the battlefield, you can then cast it. And then Tim wouldn't be able to fail to find. So and here's Wild Growth Walker. Are we going to counter? No. He's got 2 white cards in his hand right there. I don't know what they are for Dean. I'm speaking. Tim not showing us much in the ways of what's in his hand. Prosperous Innkeeper and the Selfish Saver gonna get in there. Down to 13. Goes Dean. Draws a Tundra, essentially. And passes back. Still has this Omen of the Seas, has a Get Lost. Has a 3 steps ahead and 2 white cards that I don't know. And of course the Absorb that's staring us straight in the face. Tim's gonna play Mana Confluence. Tim's gonna flick his 2 cards. Back and forth, back and forth. Flick, flick, flick. All right, get in the red zone. Restless Anchorage gonna fire up. Get on blocking duty. And take that Selfless. Oh, he blocks the Prosperous Innkeeper. I'd have taken that Selfless Spirit down, the Selfless Saver down. Get that thing out of here. All right. So down to 11 goes Dean. See, now that we're getting to where these little 1/1s are starting to be an issue. Temporary lockdown with the slam dunk. Holy smokes. It's going to take out the food. No food for you and no creatures for you. And, alright, well, here's a channeled Boseiju, which is going to... Yeah, Dean's like, yeah, that happens. So we're going to get some triggers here. Dean going to search his library for a land card. Or is it it's a treasure token, not a food token. Sheesh. Down to 9 goes Dean. And Tim gains 3. Yeah, we have 38 for today's event. I know it doesn't look like it. Usually, well, not usually. Today we have table numbers. So all of our players are out where you cannot see them. So Dean will not die this turn. I almost guarantee it. He's got so many counterspells in his hand. It's just not feasible for Tim to actually resolve an Amalia or get Amalia on the battlefield in any way, shape, or form. But Tim can chip away at Dean's life total here. A Selfless Savior is still pesky. Here's a bat. Well, that could be a way to get Amalia down. And Tim just says, sure. Are those 2 marches? He's got Absorb, March, Omen of the Seas, 3 steps ahead, and Get Lost? If that's the case... Dean's got it all. No wonder he's shocking in a fetch land when he's at 11 life. And there goes one march. All right. March is exiled. Tim in the tank here. See, I don't even know what's in Tim's hand. This is the issue from Streamer Man's position. All right, Wild Growth Walker and Prosperous Innkeeper going to get into the red zone. Just take it at this point. Yep, that's what Dean elects to do. Gonna Omen of the Seas here at the end of the turn. And there's a Sunfall. Yeah, it's pretty good. Land Sunfall, we will go ahead and draw this Sunfall, and this is gonna exile everything. This is this might be the game here, folks. We'll see what I don't know Tim, so I don't know if he is a never scoop kind of guy, but this exiles too. This is why this card is very important. Selfless Savior, not going to do much against the exile. Gonna sack it just because it's the right play. And then Dean makes a Phyrexian token. Yep, nope, that's not how that works. Hold on. Alrighty, so Stephen Hagen, our esteemed judge, is on the case. I did call the judge because obviously casting Sunfall and returning it to your hand is against the rules. However, my opinion, I would give Dean the benefit of the doubt. We will see what Mr. Hagen's ruling is here. He's likely going through and asking them to reenact kind of what happened. I don't think, and again, I'm just speculating here, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know Dean. I don't know Tim. I have no, horse in this race. But I don't think Dean being as far ahead as he is, it would just be kind of a foolish move to, do anything nefarious at this point. That being said, I will let the judge handle this situation. We had another person who is watching the stream that is here, playing in our event, watching on our big screen, come around the corner and say, hey, did you see that? I was like, yeah, we're on it. So. All right, it looks as though things are on the up and up now, and we are off to the races again. And return to the ranks has been countered, and Supreme Verdict has been drawn, and I'm assuming we're gonna start bashing with a Phyrexian token, maybe even a Restless Anchorage. So down to 21. Razorverge Thicket, go. And as you can see, Tim kind of in that state where we're kind of in garbage time for Azorius control. Here's the Cathar. Castle of Vantris enters the battlefield for Dean. Attack in for 3. Three, 4. What is this? Ah, Yorian. Okay, I didn't see that he had put it into his hand. He's gonna blink. The Narset and the Omen of the Sea. So Narset will enter with all of her counters back on it. And Omen of the Sea. Gonna do some scry and draw. And Tim gonna draw. Yeah. Tim just was not explosive enough this game. Here's a Fauna Shaman, which, if it is left to be able to activate, will be able to, you know, go find a combo piece. But I assume it is not long for this world. There's a March of Otherworldly Light. We'll exile it. And now we have a 5/5, a 3/3, and a potential 2/3 flyer. Oh, and Wandering Emperor. Gonna bash. Down to old Niner. Dean not even activating our set. Wild Growth Walker. That is a card. That is one piece of his 2-card combo. Alrighty, here comes the Wandering Emperor. What will Dean elect to do? Nothing. Gonna put a +1 counter on it. Attack, make 2 maps. 3, 4, let's see, 5. Okay, so that's blocking 6, 7, 8. Down to 2 goes Tim. And Tim's not going to scoop. There's no reason to. Hallowed Moonlight. You know, you're in an RCQ round 2. You've won round 1. Make your opponent finish the job. Makes sense to me. Radine? Yeah. 3 steps ahead. Nah. You could even copy the token at this point. I don't think there's anything Tim can really... I mean, I guess if he backdoored an Amalia here. Good. Turn the ranks. No more lies. That's going to do it. That's all she wrote. Dean, you know, made a little oopsie, but ended up, you know, playing very well, all things considered, other than, you know, that whole putting that card back in your hand after you casted it, but honest mistake. I'm sure, you know, high stakes scenario here. And that will do it. Azorius Control going to take down Amalia combo. Dean going to improve to 2-0. I put 2-0 already. He is now 2-0. Tim is now 1-1. And we will cut back to the booth. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash the like and subscribe button. Make sure to comment down below what you think about the gameplay. And watch the next video that's about to pop up. If you're watching live, we will be back real quick. And we will have more magic for you. So stick around. I'm Les Alex. We will be right back on the other side of this one.